Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Obviously, Media Day means the season's right around the corner. So it's an exciting time of year for us, for our players. You go through a whole off season, the spring and summer and into the fall, and now all that work is going to get put out on display very soon. So exciting time for us. As we mentioned, got a lot of guys back, a lot of returners, very experienced club. And we're working through right now some of those experienced guys. I think they've figured out by now that they've how to get out of conditioning. So we've had a few guys on the sidelines the last few weeks as we're getting closer, but they're all working their way back to getting back out on the practice floor, which will be great for us with our first game about 3 weeks away. So again, looking forward to getting the season started and hopefully no COVID pauses and things this year, so everything can run smoothly. Any questions from anyone?
Has it been a challenge in practice that you haven't had as many guys as you like?
Yeah, my jumper is not what it used to be, so it's my defense would be the same, so non-existent. But yeah, it's been a little bit hard with not having as many guys. We're right at that 10 number, so even when we're allowed to scrimmage, just having subs and things for practice. Over the long haul, you're trying to do a lot of stuff in the fall. Practices are a little longer. You're competing pretty good every day. So that part has made it a little more difficult. The good part is a lot of the guys that are out have been here for a long time, so they understand what we're trying to do. So when they're able to work their way back on the floor, it should be pretty seamless for them.
Coach, it's getting to be more and more of a trend now about conference games in November and December versus waiting until January. Do you like that? Is it getting an info in conference as things go?
Yeah, I don't love it, but it's something that a lot of leagues are having to do, and we're one of them with a 20-game schedule now. I've always liked, once you start conference play, you get into that mode. So it's, like for us, we come back from an MTE, you play 2 games, you got to switch that mode very quickly and then go back to your non-conference play. But it's the same for everybody. It's something that, is going to be here to stay, so we better get used to it quickly. Yeah, with the last couple of years, finishing second, we do have a little bit of, feel like we left something out there on the table a little bit. Both these last 2 seasons, we felt like we had a group that was good enough, late in the year to win a conference title, and then in the conference tournament, unfortunately, both those years, Loyola was able to get us in both those. Why we came up short, it's just one of those things. It's, injuries certainly didn't help us in both the last 2 seasons where you have some key guys out for the conference tournament. Our goal this year is to be healthy all the way through. We're going to get them all out of the way right now so that by the time March comes, we're in the clear. But, it's just part of it. Winning's hard, and our guys know that. They understand that. But we want to be in a position to be in that same spot where you're playing for a conference title, where you're playing for an NCAA tournament berth. And that's all you want to be. It's just give yourself that shot. And then, this year we'd love to come out on top, obviously, just like 11 other teams in our league would.
You mentioned that you had a couple of returning players this year. How do you think that's helped you prepare for the season?
Yeah, anytime you got a good group like we have that's coming back with the experience they have, you feel good as a coach. You're not starting over. You're not to reteach everything. So, it allows you then to focus maybe on more of the details of what you're doing, kind of refining everything so it can be as close to perfect as you can get it. When you have a lot of new guys, you're just trying to get maybe a more broad picture of what you're trying to get done, and then work your way down from there. So having all the vets we have, all the experience they have, there's been a lot of basketball play. So we're not throwing something at them in practice or in the upcoming games that they haven't seen before. Yeah, I think what I hope is one of the benefits of having some veteran guys out during practices is for some other guys to be in different roles during these practices. So, for example, Connor Enright, he's had to take 100% of almost all of our point guard reps. Where if Roman had been practicing the entire time, he doesn't get that experience. So I've really liked what maybe our bench, how it's developed over the course of these fall practices. I think we have a lot of guys that we trust, that we can call on, and feel great about, that can help us win a game. And anytime we're talking about a 20-game conference race now, you're going to need depth. That's just the way it's going to be. You're going to need guys to step up every night. And the good part is when you have that much experience coming back, they don't have to carry it every night. But on those nights where one or two guys can step up, it's a huge deal for us.
Transfers, Calhoun and Northweather look like pretty promising. What do you see their role is? How much do you think they're going to?
Yeah, I think Sadar and Eric have had a really good transition over the course of the summer and this fall. They're both picking up the systems very quickly on what we try to do. I like what they bring. You know, Sadar has the ability to give us some athleticism and strength and things that with Trammell and Tank leaving, we lost a little bit of our athleticism and that size. I think Sadar can give us both, and he can really shoot it. So that's something that I think that's going to be huge for us as we move forward. And again, I think he's really picked up as the summer and fall has gone on, all the terminology and stuff. That's hard when you're a new guy, you know, coming in with a bunch of veterans. Because even as coaches, we tend to like, you should know it. And it's like, well, they've been here for 2 weeks, you know. But I think him and Eric have both done a great job of picking up on what we want them to do. They're understanding kind of where to go and learning how to play off of one another. Again, I think all of those guys have had a great fall and anticipate, you know, our bench being very deep, that we can go a lot of different directions with it.
And with the new teams in the league, what's the challenge of first facing new personnel and new coaching styles?
Yeah, you add new teams and a few, you know, new coaches on some of the teams that are returning. And then with the portal now, you know, a lot of times you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8, in some cases 11 and 12 guys that are new on a team. So, you know, fortunately, most of them we don't see for a while, so we'll get a chance to kind of figure things out. But it's new scouting reports, all that stuff that, you know, when Bradley plays us right now, they've coached against us for 4 or 5 years. They just, you know, pull out the file and here's what they do. And so when you have new teams, new coaches, you got to start that file from scratch again. So and then everybody tries to figure you out from that point on.
You guys were preseason favorites last year, and you were preseason favorites again this year. How has the preparation changed from last season to this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with our preparation both years is it doesn't change in terms of what you want to do every day. Your formula to win is going to be the same whether you're picked first, you're picked in the middle of the pack, you're picked last. It's just how well can you execute it. We've tried to make sure, again, with all the returning guys, that we maintain our edge, that you don't get complacent with the same drills and those type of things. So, and I think our guys have had an awesome summer and fall in that regards. I think their preparation's been right on point. I think they're, you know, very determined, as we mentioned, you know, coming up a little short. There's still something out there for them that motivates them that they want to accomplish yet before they're done here. Yeah, I think the Valley adding the 3 teams they added, and you know the way that the Valley's been able to recruit, whether it be in the portal or just out of the high schools, I think we're in as strongest position as we've ever been. You know, the ability to get multiple bids is what our league is you know, striving towards. I think we're where we need to be now. We just got to go win. You got to go produce. You got to go get those needed wins, the marquee wins in your non-conference schedule, and then that allows you, once you get into conference play, to have those quad 1 and quad 2 opportunities, and that's how you get to those multiple bids. But I think heading into the preseason here, I think we're in a great spot. I think we have a lot of teams that are very good, capable of going out and having a good non-conference season. And again, that'll put us in a good shape, you know, come Valley Conference tournament time, of having multiple teams that are in a good spot to, you know, get that at-large bid. You know, that's hard to get. It's become harder as it's gone on. You know, with the net and things and the way the selections go, you have to take advantage of those 1 or top 2 opportunities when they come your way. Yeah, I think with the additions, you change a little bit. You lose some guys, you bring in some guys, and they're not all the same. So figuring out what style would fit our group the best. We're not going to change a lot from who we are and what we want to do, but you tweak it a little bit. I think we're going to shoot the ball better this year. I think that will be an advantage for us. Where last year we didn't shoot it quite as well from three-point line, but we may lose a little bit in some of our defensive pressure and things that we're able to maybe do a little bit more of last year. So I think we'll do a lot of the same things. You just tweak it to kind of fit the guys that we have. Yeah, I think Tucker's had a really good offseason. I think anytime as a freshman you're coming out of high school, you don't know what to expect. True for everybody. You come into the college game, it's different. Your preparation's different. What you used to be able to do doesn't work. So you have to figure it out and adjust. And I think this offseason he's done a really good job of changing his body and then figuring out how can I best use his skill set for the college game. And from that regard, I think he's made some huge strides from the end of last year to today.
How about his health? When he came in, people expected athleticism, rim protection. Is he ready to give you that?
Issa? Is that what you said? Issa? Yeah. Unfortunately, Issa's been struggling still with some of the recovery from his ACL injury. He's still on his way back and rehabbing, so he hasn't been on the practice floor here for a while. It would probably be a few more weeks before we get him back. So, unfortunately, he's one of those guys that we won't have for an extended period here in the short term.
Any other questions for Coach DeVries? Okay, Coach.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.